Hello, my friends. How's it going? So this is the first episode of Couch Talk, Real Talk, and I chose that name because when I'm on this couch and I talk, for some reason I always end up like do a video where I express myself and I talk about how I feel. And the first Couch Talk, Real Talk that ever happened was back in 2015, the January 5th of 2015. I was talking about why I was away for so long. My friend had just died, and I had my trouble with my drug addiction, and now everything is going well with that for sure. And I actually got my 9 months of sober clean time, because 9 months before the show, I actually had a little slip on September, because I put my recovery. I didn't want to do the meetings. I didn't care. Then I thought, I'm just gonna drink whatever. Nothing really bad happened, but everything felt wrong afterwards. And instead of grabbing that one, because the day after that I did that mistake, I was supposed to grab that, but instead I grabbed this one. For those who don't know, the white one is like the newcomer key tag in the meetings. So, but I'm glad I did that mistake, because now I was on the right path. Then I had the day when I was in the wrong path, and then the next day I really felt the difference. It was very different. It's like my whole life changed, and I got a little bit scared because I was dating a girl back then, Tracy, and if I was single, all the girls they went to, like they went out, and I went back home because, I still had all my mind there. I didn't do any mistakes. But if I was single, I would have probably kept going. And then when the girls would be tired, they would go to bed. I would be awake and all wired, and I would wanna, I would have crossed somebody in the street that I know with my drug of choice, I would have probably like went on a bad bender again. And last time it lasted 2 months. That bender, 18 months ago, it was 2 months. It was after 2 months. Anyway, and I was in the streets and everything. Lost everything. So I'm like a couple decisions away always from fucking up and being in the streets. Like 2 or 3 decisions. The first one would be start using drugs, and then after that, stopping is almost impossible. Almost impossible. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of help. It takes a lot of suffering to decide to stop once you start. But that's in the past now, So the first Couch Talk was back in 2015. Like I said, my friend just died. I decided to stop using drugs. And I talked a little bit about how I felt in my series of Condis Prep Chronicles. So every time I sit on this couch, I feel like, let's get real. So today I want to talk about how I feel about my contest, and then now after the contest, my state of mind. Let's do the switch. So I was dating this girl, Tracy, amazing woman, like one of the best personalities when she's good and stuff, and but I couldn't give her what she needed, and there's always two sides to the story, but I know I was wrong for some of it, and sometimes I'm kind of second guessing myself lately, because I know this, what meant to be is meant to be, and I'm at the right place right now because everything is going well for me. Everything's going well. I have to be very, very grateful. But when you're in contest prep, I'm gonna talk about myself. When I'm in contest prep, the last one I did was a real one. I gave 100% into it. I didn't miss one meal. I weighted everything to the gram, German precision. And I was a little bit crazy. You get if you're really prepping hard, you go a little bit like those horses with the blinders. And everything that I would do during my day was, how can I do that thing so my results are optimal and on point and precise and the best results I can have for that day. So it's almost like every step I was taking, everything I was doing, everywhere I was going was for that one specific goal of being the most ripped, conditioned, muscular for that one contest, that one day. Everything I was doing. So if there was outside things that were kind of like slowing me down, I didn't like that. I kind of like wanted to put them away. Didn't want to deal with them. And the closer you get to a show, the more I became like that. And I think when I started that relationship, I was so easygoing. I was off season. I was sleeping still at like 4 a.m. sometimes. A stupid schedule, and it was perfect with what I was doing. You know, I was like having fun, adventures everywhere with her and stuff. But then I became like a robot, like a machine. I became like an automatic contest prep machine. And I don't think a lot of people, it's kind of hard to live with that. It's nobody's fault to be like, hey, you're not giving me this anymore. No, you're not giving me that. That's normal. That's normal. Not everybody can deal with a contest prep bodybuilder. And so I realize that now. And now that, but when I was in the moment, then I was like, say my emotions. I even put my emotions aside. If emotions will get in the way for my contest prep, put them aside, like a robot. So I pretty much became like a machine. But it was all worth it. That's the thing. And I might sound selfish when I say that, but I had to be selfish to be at my best for that show. It was a conscious choice for me to be selfish. Everything revolved around that one freaking day, about my results, so I can be the best that I can be for that day. So it's a little bit selfish. I'm not a selfish person in general for other things, you know, like sharing something, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? But for the contest, I was very, very, very selfish. And it's not fun to live with somebody that's selfish, whatever the reason is. But me, I blocked everything away, blocked all the emotions away. I was kind of like cold a little bit, put the blinders on. The only thing that mattered to me was that contest. And now, contest done, everything is good. I had like a little like cloud 9 effect, and now the cloud is like, the dust is still settling down. And I'm like, okay, I'm by myself now in Burlington, in the country. Dorian just moved away from the house. I'm really by myself. And the thing is, my mind in contest was occupied 100% like with the show, pretty much, you know, maybe like not 100%, but like 5% I had to like, whatever. But no, pretty much 100%. And that was fine for then. But now it's like my mind freed up. Like my training and my diet was like 100%. That's the only thing that matters to me. But now I'm probably like 85%. I'm eating all my meals. I'm weighing everything to the gram still. I'm training all my trainings. I'm doing cardio almost every day. But I have a lot of free space in there that's not occupied by the contest. And now when I'm by myself, I'm stuck with myself. And there's no escape. You know, when you have a girlfriend, you spend time, you know, well, that's why I spend time with her. I take care of her, cook her food and take care of her. It's like, I occupy myself with that, you know. And before I was occupying my board time with partying and taking drugs. But now I'm like I don't have the contest prep in my mind. I don't have the girlfriend, no relationships. I can't use drugs anymore because I'm gonna die. Seriously, I'll be either dead or in jail or in an institution, back to rehab or in a hospital, something like that, or in the street, like miserable. So I have nothing to, that's like instant gratification or that's just gonna change my mind. So I really gotta deal with my boredom. And how I do that? Well, I'm doing a video. Yeah. So I'm kind of like feeling like, I don't know if we call it like the post-contest blues, where it's like, it's not a blues, I guess, because I'm very grateful. Everything is good. I'm looking around like, oh, maybe I'm by myself, but I have a freaking roof over my head. Some people don't have that. So we have to remember that. But yeah, it's not a post-contest blues, it's more like adjustment. I gotta adjust myself to the new free time in my head. I have to adjust myself, living by myself again. And I'm away from my mom, my family. But I need to adjust myself to make this a good thing. And how can I make this a good thing? I can focus on bodybuilding even more. I can focus on improving different projects that I have. I can really work on myself. I can work on my spirituality more. I can work on my recovery more, because during contest prep, it's the one time in my life I wanted to use drugs the less, which is great. But you're not always on contest prep, so I gotta go back to doing meetings and stuff like that, so that I can just like really focus on myself and improve myself. But it takes and the dieting, dieting for a show is very easy because you're so motivated for that specific goal, and even if when you're not motivated, you use discipline because you need to do that, or else it's like a life or death situation in my head. It's like it's an ethos I have when I'm dieting. Now it's like no room for mistake. But now with reverse dieting, I'm probably eating 85% clean, 90% clean instead of 100%. And it's kind of hard because like it takes a way more discipline to eat clean after a show than to eat clean before a show. Because if you have I'll talk about momentum here. If you're doing contest prep and you don't cheat or you follow the plan exactly for weeks, you have momentum of discipline helping you out. It's like you're used to it. But if you leave yourself a little bit of room where it's like, you know what, I don't have a cheat meal plan, but I'm gonna have some fucking cookies or something. You break the momentum. Then you're gonna restart the momentum of discipline. And that's way harder than just not doing it at all. And there's a kid at the gym that went up to me and he said, I don't know what happened, I can't stop eating. He's prepping for a show. He said, oh, I cheated all day yesterday, and this morning I woke up and I ate marshmallows and a hot dog bun with, like, he's going crazy. Because I told him, like, it's because if you give yourself a little bit of room, you'll open up the floodgates. So what you need to do, you need to be strict all the time. You need to go back to the plan right away. Don't do more cardio because you ate more. Just go back to the plan and just restart the momentum. And once the momentum is there, you just ride it. But now because I'm reverse dieting, I have given myself a little bit more room. Like for example, yesterday I cheated, was planned. This morning I didn't cheat, but then I had like 2 quinoa cookies. I ate them before the workout. Because I'm like, you know what, I want to have a great pump, and I gotta eat some more food, And the pump was great, it was good. But like that little thing, that little room there can lead to other stuff. But it takes discipline to stop that. When you're prepping for a show, and after that you gotta stop eating crab, you gotta stop eating crab. to stay in shape takes a lot more discipline because you lose the momentum of contest prep. You become so crazy and disciplined and motivated. And now after the show, it's like you're more laid back. So my attitude is more laid back. So everything's more laid back. I'm living more like a normal person, which is not very normal because I'm still weighing everything to the gram, trying to drink my water every day, calculated, and I do all my training. It's not an average, but normal sucks. You know that. So I was saying, I'm more like feeling like I'm going back to my normal self a little bit, which is good because I'm in a bitter mood and stuff. But it's a lot of adjustments, and now, like I said, I just woke up pretty much like, oh, I'm single again, no more relationship with the girl that I loved, and it's like I made the decision to choose my goals and myself over that relationship. And I feel really sorry because, I don't like to hurt people, but I did because I wanted to win that show. I wanted to become the best that I could be, and I couldn't give that person what she needed. And it's not her fault. It's like I freaking changed a lot. I became like I said, a robot, a machine. So it's going to be hard to find somebody that's going to be able to deal with that. But right now, I'm not even thinking about finding somebody. I'm just trying to, you know what? I'm by myself now in Burlington. Let's create a crazy setup so I can have the best off-season muscle building possible. And I want to be super precise. I'm just gonna stay disciplined. I'm staying in good condition right now because I have a guest pose anyway. But I'm pretty much in control of what I can be in control. And there's not a lot of things you can be in control of, by the way. But those, if you can control something, control it. If you can't control it, accept it. And there's a lot of things you can't control. It's funny, when the best example for me is the rain. Fucking rain. It's raining. If you go against it, if you fight the rain, you're not gonna win. You need to be the rain, purify me. I love you, rain. I accept you. And then you're at peace with the rain, and you're actually this rain's fucking awesome. That's one example. So there's a lot of things you can't control. But the things I can control for this off season, I'm gonna control it, which is what I eat and what I do, and who I hang out with, and all those things. How can I make myself a champion? How can I make myself the best person / bodybuilder I can be? Because the goal in my life is not only to be a good bodybuilder, is to be the best that I can be in all aspects: the mind, mental, the spiritual, and the physique, bodybuilding, and they're all pretty much intertwined. I listened to a podcast with Georges St-Pierre and Joe Rogan, the last one he did. Amazing podcast. I really strongly suggest it. It's actually one of the only ones I'm going to listen twice because I'm going to take some notes to go into my next contest prep, because I think the mind that GSP has and the tricks he has for prepping for a fight, I'm going to apply some of them and I was already doing it, but I'm going to apply some of them for the contest prep, because it's the same thing. Weeks and weeks and months of training for one day. The only difference is the day of the show. It's a major difference. Because one, you're fighting in a freaking cage and your life's on the line. The other one, you're just flexing on stage. So it's very different. But the prep is similar in some ways. So for those who are prepping, I strongly suggest you should watch the Joe Rogan podcast with Georges St-Pierre, the last one. Good guy. And so to summarize all that, this is what's going on in my mind right now. A little bit bored. I gotta know how to cope with that, deal with myself. and I'm very conscious of what I'm doing. I'm analyzing everything. I'm doing a lot of introspection, and I think this couch talk, real talk, that I'm gonna do once in a while. This is episode 1, by the way. Is gonna be good because you'll be able to know how I feel and what's going on in my head, in my heart, and for me, it's really good because it gives me a chance to share, to get out of my system, get out of my head, and which is good. And by sharing that, maybe some of you guys can relate to some stuff, and you're able to understand more my view on life, I guess, and bodybuilding and what's going on. So I don't know. I guess I could ramble random stuff, and but I think I'm gonna end it on that. I'm also I started drawing again. So here's a little drawing that I started. It's my second one, and you know what's funny? I'm actually selling them. I sold my first art piece the other day, and yeah. So it's a good way to support me. If you guys want to support me, you buy some of my art, which is great. Or you can buy like right-aware stuff, code Antoine 10, and I have to this is how you support. I can support my sport and pay the bills. Is like just like thinking of ways like to make money like that, and I never thought that selling art would be one of them. But if you guys want to buy my art, just send me an email, or if you go on my Instagram, AntoineV87, I post stories a lot lately, and being bored is good for that. If I'm bored, more stories to you guys on Instagram, so that's funny. And yeah, anyway, I'm just talking. So thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and because I'm gonna have like 3 main video series so far. I'm gonna have the couch talk, real talk that we're doing right now, episode 1. I'm gonna have the HD Masthetics protocol, which is gonna be my off-season like mass building video series. That's gonna be like Contest Prep Chronicles, but off-season. I'll do like more like my training, how what's going on, more about that, and how the tricks and the diet, and Dorian had my coach Q&As with my coach and stuff. And I'm gonna have the kitchen stuff videos. Super awesome kitchen stuff is coming back. And the first one I'm gonna do, I'm waiting for something in Amazon. From Amazon, it's gonna be a meal with sugar-free, fat-free coconut rice. You think it's impossible? It's very simple, and it's not that big of a trick, but you'll enjoy it. So now I'm gonna go to bed because it's 1 a.m. I should be in bed already. But yeah. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you guys enjoy the couch talk, real talk, and have a good night or a good day, I guess, or evening, whatever. Have a good freaking time on Earth. See ya.